All right, number 6, it says consider a histogram that has an interval whose boundaries are negative 0.01 and positive 0.01. Which of the values given below should be counted in this interval? The easiest way to do this is to just draw a picture of it. So we draw a picture. We're talking about an interval that looks like this. This is negative 0.01. This is positive 0.01. What's exactly in the center of this? Anybody? 0, right? Okay, so 0 is right here. What would be in the middle of 0 and positive 0.01? Right here. How much? What if this was 0 and this was 1? What would be in the middle of it?
0.5.
Okay, 0.5, so we're going to move some zeros, right? So it's going to be 0.005, and then over here this would be negative 0.005. Does that make sense? And you're going to have all these marks in between, 0.001, 0.002, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then negative the other way. Okay, just like that. I think I put one too many. No, I didn't. So is negative 0.002 in this interval? It's right here. Right? This is negative 0.001, negative 0.002, all the way out to negative 0.005. Is negative 0.001 there? Yeah, it's right there. Is 0 in it? Yep. Is positive 0.006 in it? Yep, it's right here. Is positive 0.01 in it? This is tricky because this is right on the boundary. What do we say about things on the boundary? Which way do they go? They go right or left? It's gonna fall into the next one over here. It's gonna fall to the right. So positive 0.01 is not in it. Is positive 0.02 in it? It's gonna be way out here someplace. Okay, so you should have, for number 6, A, B, C, and D as your answer to number 6. Okay, the last two, E and F, are not. Number 7, what's the interval immediately to the right of, immediately to the left of the interval containing 0 in figure 2.1? So I'm going to erase this. Everybody got it? And I'm going to turn the page back to 2.1. So this is figure 2.1 right here. This one contains 0. The one to the left of it is from negative 0.03 to negative 0.01. So we're going to put for 7a, negative 0.03 to negative 0.01. That's the interval. Now it says identify the teams whose data appear in this column. So we're going to turn back to the table and look for teams who have data that appear here. Now remember, because of this interval, the way this is set up, negative 0.03s are going to fall in. The negative 0.01s are going to be on the interval and they're going to fall into the next one. They're going to fall out of it. Okay? So let's look at the table. This is all the team's data. There's 20 pieces of data here. Here's a negative 0.03, so team 5 is going to be in it. Here's a negative 0.02, so team 7. Team 10 is going to be in it. Team 14 is going to be in it. And that's it. So we're going to put for part B on number 7. You'll have to remind me what it was. 5, 7, 10, and 14. Teams 5, 7, 10, and 14 are going to have data that fall into that column. Number 8, what interval is immediately to the right of 0 in figure 2.5? So figure 2.5 is this one right up here. Okay? So I'm going to erase the answers here to the previous one. And the one immediately to the right of 0 actually contains 0 because 0 is a boundary on it. So it's 0 to, well, what would this number be? If this is 0.1, it would have to be 0.02, 0.04, 0.06, 0.08, 0.1. So this is 0 to 0.02. So that's what we're going to put on 8. I want to put 8a right here. 0 to 0.02. Okay? Then B says, identify the teams whose data appear in this column. Well, how many teams have data that appear in this column? You can count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 teams. So let's go back and look at the table again. So anybody that has a number between 0 and positive 0.02, excluding positive 0.02 because it's going to fall out, it's going to fall into the next one, which, how many teams are in the next column? None, right? So none are going to fall out of it. So all the zeros count. I don't know if I can get it to stay there. So we're going to say team 3, 4, 6, 8, 9, 16, and 18. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There should be 2 more teams, and they're right here, positive 0.01 and positive 0.01. So 17 and 19. 17 and 19 all have data that appear there. And then letter C. Identify the teams whose data are in the last column on the left in figure 2.5. The last column on the left is this one right here. How many teams are there, by the way? 2 teams, right? Okay, and that's between negative 0.22 and negative 0.20. There's 2 teams that are there. Team 20 and team 2 should be those teams. Here in about 10 minutes. What did I say they were? 2 and what? 2 and 20? 2 and 20. Okay, then for number 9, it says draw a histogram of the data in table 2.1 using intervals with a width of 0.01 and place 0 at the center of an interval. So this is how we're going to set it up. I'm actually going to draw it on here, I think would be the easiest. So here's my piece of graph paper. I'm just going to pick a spot in the middle and I'll make that 0. And then if we go by 0.01s, this is 0.01, 0.02, 0.03, 4. I'm going to skip some of them. This over here will be 0.1. And we'll go left. This is negative 0.01, negative 0.02, 4, 0.05, negative 0.1, and so on. Okay? So I hope you can read my writing there. So 0.01, 0.02, 0.03, I didn't write all those in there. We can assume the rest of them, save some time. Negative 0.01, negative 0.02, 3, 4, negative 0.05, and so on. Okay? So we're going to plot the data. So I'm going to go back to this page over here. If I can show it all on there. So the first one is positive 0.07. So that's going to go, here's 0.06, here's 0.07 right here. Right there. Then we got a negative 0.21. It doesn't fit on here, so we're going to leave it off. Then 2 zeros. So 0, 0. Both of these are negative 0.03 is this one right here. Then another 0. Then a negative 0.02. 2 more zeros. Negative 0.02. This one right here. And then we'll go to this column. Negative 0.05 is all the way over here. Negative 0.17 is not even, won't fit on there. Another negative 0.05. Negative 0.02. Negative 0.04 is right here. 0. Positive 0.01, another 0. Positive 0.01, and negative 0.22. So this is the graph for 9A. That's what it should look like, if you did it correctly. Okay? So where do the majority of these numbers fall? I would say 0, right? We have a lot more zeros than anything else. Okay? So let's go on to 9b, and I'll try to leave this up there for those of you that didn't get it. All right, 9b says, if you drew the histogram correctly, the interval immediately to the left of 0 should be empty. Why? Why is this empty? Well, there's no data there, right? There's a bunch of empty ones. All these are empty too. These are empty. These are empty. Nobody found any data that fit here. That's all that it means. So for 9b, I'm just going to say no data. And then for letter C, this observation is lost in figure 2.3. Therefore, is new histogram better than the one shown in figure 2.3? So here's figure 2.3 over here. You can see they have stuff to the left of 0, just because they have different intervals. So they want to know, is this histogram better than that one? I'm going to say this. No, comma, it's just different. It's not better, it's not worse, it's just different. It's just a different interval. So depending on what you show, we can change the intervals. Now, you were supposed to make another histogram too, and I'm not going to have time to go over all of it, but I'll get you started on it. So this was posted on Canvas, this set of data right here. And the way you're supposed to set this up is on your graph paper. So we're going to do it the same way, but it's a little bit different. We're going to put 0 between intervals again. I'm just going to find a place in the center and put 0. And the interval width this time is 0.1 instead of 0.01. So this next center is going to be 0.1, and then 0.2, and then 0.3, and then negative the other way, negative 0.1, negative 0.2, negative 0.3. What's after 0.9 if you're going by tenths? 1, right? Okay, so this is going to be 1. Just like that. Okay? And so then when you plot the data, I'm not going to go through and plot it all, but I'll get you started. The very first one is negative 1.1, which is actually, there's just a sliver of it all the way over here. That would be the box for 1.1 on mine. If yours doesn't fit on there because you didn't get to the exact center, that's okay. Don't put it on there. Then the next one is negative 0.1, which would be right here. And the next one below that is negative 0.1, which is right here. And we just keep going. All right? There's a 0 next to that. And so I guess what we'll do on this is I'll give you a chance, now that we've kind of explained histograms, to do this histogram, and we'll talk about it on Monday. I'll go through and plot them all, and you can check where you're at. Okay, we've got about 5 minutes left. You need to go back and mass yours again to get the final mass, and then write it in.